When I was in third grade, I began doing part-time work as a child model. One of the companies that I was working for was called Target, and this company is based in the city that I grew up in. And I would do advertisements for clothes, for toys, and then every now and then for other random companies, I would do commercials, TV commercials, where I would get cast and then go to the set and we'd be filming things for the day. And so when I actually had the opportunity myself to be on set and to see the cameras and see all the lights with my own eyes, I mean, this left a lasting impression on me. So that day, when I was in the dressing room changing from my costume back to my normal clothes, I remember saying to myself that this is what I'm going to do with my life. And from then on, filmmaking, it shaped everything that I did. Every activity that I did, every hobby that I had was to be used in some way for filmmaking. When I'd be hanging out with my friends, I thought about, oh, this would be a really cool shot, or we could do a fight scene over here. Or if I was shopping for something, I thought, hey, this could be a really cool prop. Maybe I could use this as a weapon, or maybe this is the secret treasure that the characters try to find. But once I said that filmmaking is what I want to do with my life, suddenly everything, my whole world dialed into that one specific goal. That became my purpose. This hobby took complete control of my life, and to this day, I'm still doing it. Having a strong passion like this has taught me about perseverance, sticking with things, fighting through adversity, being able to handle yourself when things don't go your way. So in today's show, we are going to be talking about a man's mission. This is our very first episode, and I wanted to start with this topic because I believe that if a man has his mission and has a clear directive in his life, it really helps to make everything else fall into place. So today, I will be sipping on Kikori whiskey. It's a Japanese whiskey. It's a very smooth whiskey. I picked this up on a whim. I had never had it before, but it was made in the city that I used to live in Japan, so I thought I would give it a shot. We're going to be talking about what is a man's mission. We're going to be talking about the side effects of not having a mission. We're going to talk about what having a mission can bring you, and then how to discover your mission. We've also got a couple of other fun surprises along the way. So without further ado, let's get started. So what is a man's mission? A man's mission is the through line to his life. He needs to have that focus that pushes him forward. It's a track that guides him from point A to B, and without a larger goal in his life, men will wander and they're going to feel lost. I want you to think about the times in your life when you felt the most depressed or unrewarded. And I'm going to guess that was when you did not have a direction or any purpose in your life. You did not have anything to feel accomplished or proud of. These are the side effects that you can expect to experience if you do not have a greater purpose or a mission that you are chasing after in your life. Now I want you to think about, when did you feel the most proud, the most satisfied, or the most accomplished? And I'm gonna guess this is probably when you just completed some sort of a task, some sort of an assignment, whether it be rocking out a project at work or at school. Maybe you trained really hard for a marathon or some sort of a physical challenge. It might have sucked ass while you were doing it, but once you finished it and accomplished it, you probably felt really, really good. So men need to understand that pride and satisfaction comes from the doing and the accomplishing of things. And this can come in any form. It could be just reading and finishing a book. It could be writing a blog post. It could be cementing your driveway. It could be painting your house. It could be cooking a really good meal. This is one of the reasons why video games are so popular, because it creates experience after experience of the sense of accomplishment and reward. Men love overcoming challenges. We love to fight through the difficulty and prove to ourselves and prove to other people that we won't give up, that we will make it to the very end. This is what gives us good feelings. This is what makes us feel accomplished and worthwhile in our life. So what kinds of things can a man make into his mission? Well, this could take any form. You could be a musician and maybe your goal is to perform at a live venue or to create an album. You could be a carpenter that your goal is to get a certain type of client. A man can make nearly anything his mission, but take a look around you and you can see that men who have that clear mission, they may never get there, but it's the process of actually working to get somewhere that makes us feel really good. But we got to take a look at what happens if you don't have a mission. When a man does not have a mission or an outlet, what happens to him? Well, we often try to replicate that feeling in some sort of way, and oftentimes it can be in a negative way. So without it, men drop into depression, or you're going to fill it with a false way of feeling that sense of accomplishment, like porn or drugs or chasing girls. These things give you a sense of attainment without actually changing anything or doing anything with yourself. Doing any of these activities makes you feel good for the short term, but in the long term, it does not give you that rewarding sense of satisfaction. But the good thing is that you can fill that emptiness with your life's mission. And when you do this, the desire to busy yourself with some of those other quick dopamine hits and that sense of instant gratification, it fades away. When I was in my early 20s, I was really into collecting action figures from the 80s because I grew up in the 80s and there was things that I always had wanted to have as a kid but wasn't able to get them. So as an adult, I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually get these things. But it came to a point where I had so many things that I realized that this was merely a coping mechanism. It was a way to distract myself. Because I was in a relationship and I had some ups and downs with it. And instead of actually dealing with some of my earlier emotional traumas and stuff as a kid, I'd just go out and spend money and buy things and fill my mind with the good pleasures of finding new things to collect. But the weird thing is, and this is crazy, when I actually realized this and I was like, you know what? Instead of doing that, let me actually face some of these inner demons and deal with my shit. After doing that, spending like a year or two really digging in and working on some of my own issues, all of a sudden the desire to collect and buy all this stuff completely went away, almost cold turkey. So at this point, I can certainly enjoy and appreciate the hobby of collecting things like that, but I personally don't really do it anymore. It completely lost its luster after I had sorted out my own personal emotional issues, and the need to fill it and busy my mind with these other distractions went away.
Hi, what'll it be? I wish I had a dime for every time I've asked that question. I've been a cocktail bartender here at the San Francisco Fairmont for 7 years. I can make hundreds of cocktails and fancy drinks. But you know what drink they ask for most? Johnny Walker on the rocks. And me, a cocktail bartender. Straight Johnny Walker and ice. It's a good thing nobody adds ice like I can.
Johnny Walker, the world's first choice in Scotch whiskey, the Scotch behind the man behind the bar.
So what happens if you don't have a mission in life? Well, let's take a look at some of those side effects. Men who don't have a mission often have a very awkwardness about them. They're a bit flaccid. They behave like a floppy dick. And I've noticed that men without a mission have a clingy vibe that people can pick up on because they're always looking externally for someone to fill up their life. You'll see these guys lingering and hanging around. They don't necessarily say much, but they're always wanting to just hang out there and be there, and they give off an energy that is very needy. And I'm sure you've all met people like this, and maybe you've been this yourself. And guys who do not have a mission in life also have big problems in dating. They get ghosted, or they just can't seem to make it past the first couple of dates. In these types, if they actually do somehow get a relationship, the girl is more of a man than they are. Girls these days, they're taught to have ambition and a career and do all of these things that boys were once taught that they're no longer doing. So instead of focusing on his purpose and his mission and having this big life goal, guys are instead wondering, well, gee, does she like me? How come she doesn't call me back? She's too busy for me. I want to spend more time with her, but she doesn't want to spend time with me. This is very feminine behavior, wanting to connect and cling and get that emotional vindication and validation. Like, these are all very feminine type behaviors. And I've had so many men reach out to me because they're in a situation where they want to spend more time with their girl, or the girl is on their mind 24/7 and they're not seeing them enough. And I'm like, guys, like, it's clear to me that you have nothing else going on in your life. You need a mission. You need to be doing something, because the more that you can be doing, the more attractive you will be to a woman and to the rest of the world. And without having a mission in your life, you're not able to build the skills that will make you an attractive, accomplished man. Because when you have a mission in life, you're taught so many important life skills, like how to have determination, how to not take things so seriously, how to brush off criticism, how to keep going even if it doesn't work out, how to handle rejection. The other side effect of not having a mission is that you're going to become someone else's slave. If you don't have a goal where you want to get to in life, you're going to end up working for somebody else, which is fine. There's nothing wrong working at a company. But eventually you're going to get to a point where you're going to get frustrated and you're going to feel like you have no say or control over your life. So by having a mission, you can make sure that wherever you work, whether it's for someone else or for yourself, you have that goal in mind. Like, look, I'm going to work here for 3 years. I'm going to learn X, Y, and Z. And by the time I'm done with this 3 years, I'm going to move on to this next goal that I have. And you can keep moving up the ladder. Another side effect of not having a mission that a lot of people don't talk about is the sense of shame and embarrassment that a lot of men feel because you haven't done anything with your life. You have nothing to look back on. When people talk to you about things, you have nothing to talk about. So many men ask me, well, how do I become more social? How do I hold conversations better? Well, one of the best things you can do is have a mission, be working towards something, because then you can talk about that. And when you yourself have a mission, you'll be able to relate to other men who do as well. And you'll both be able to share your war stories and talk about the struggles or the successes that you've had. And by having this clear-cut mission, it will make you a much more interesting man.
The canoe message. It's spelled C. Come on over. A. Alone. N. Now. O.
Okay.
E. Etc. Etc. Canoe. The man's cologne from Dana. Wear it. She'll get the message.
Oh.
C-A-N-O-E.
Canoe.
So let's talk about what having a mission can bring you. So having a mission can bring you peace of mind, most importantly. It is something that you can always fall back on if things are not going well in your life. You'll have that internal support system. So let's say that you go on a date and it doesn't go well. It doesn't really matter because you have this thing to fall back on. You're like, well, it didn't work out, but I am back home. I'm going to work on my stuff and keep moving forward. Having a mission will also reduce your anxiety, and it will give you an upbeat energy because you have something that your mind can focus on. Without any focus, you're going to feel anxiety. You can potentially feel this nervous energy, but when you have this mission on your mind, you feel a sense of accomplishment each day because you're working on it, which for men, accomplishing things reduces anxiety. Having a mission, of course, can also bring you women. Okay, let's talk about that because we all, of course, think about this. So instead of women occupying your mind all the time, your mission will be the thing that occupies your mind. And this is fantastic. Why? Because this creates a sense of detachment and non-neediness. And it will let you lighten up and not get bent out of shape or nervous about if a woman likes you or not. And this is something I've noticed between men who do well with women and men who struggle with women, is that most of the time when they don't have a purpose in their life, a greater mission, they put so much of their thought and effort into getting the girl. The girl becomes their mission, and a woman should never be your mission in life. Like that's the worst thing to make your mission. Your mission should be your own personal thing. What do you want to do with your life? Any woman that enters into your life, that is an added bonus. So if you have a mission in life that you're thinking about every day, it's amazing what it can do for your psyche. It naturally creates a sense of detachment, which is a good thing because you're thinking about your mission, you're focusing on that. And while you might be going on a date and you can have a good conversation, at the end of the day, your mind's sort of on this other thing, this greater, bigger, grander goal that you have in life. So you can enjoy the date with her, but you're not going home wondering, oh gee, did it go okay? Does she like me? Instead, you're like, okay, that was fun, cool. Now let me get back to work. And I'm telling you guys, women sense this. When they sense that they're not your number one priority, that makes you their number one priority. They love that when you've got stuff going on. Having a mission can also change your body language and how you interact with people. When you have something that you're doing that you're proud of, what do you think you're going to do with your posture? You're going to stand up tall. When you talk to people about it, you're going to lighten up. People can sense this on your face with your facial expressions. You're going to have a much more upbeat and positive energy, so your interactions with people are going to be positive. If you have a strong, clear mission in your life, you can hold a conversation. Even if you're a guy who considers yourself not very social, at least you can talk about that. And so your interactions with people are going to be much more smooth. You'll be able to speak with confidence because you have something that you know about that you can share with them.
He believes in the same kinds of things his father believes in. He's straightforward, dependable, and honest. I feel like he could do anything. He's strong, but I think it has more to do with his character. He's there when you need him. That's because he's got confidence in himself. You can feel it just being near him.
The cool, refreshing feeling of Old Spice, the essence of a man.
Okay, so how do you discover your mission? Well, there's one important question that you should ask yourself, and that is, what legacy do you want to leave behind? What is it that when you're dead and gone that people will remember you by, or that your kids will remember you by, or whatever people that you've interacted with in your life, how will they remember you? What is the thing that you want to do that changes the world even after you're gone? So in my own life, I'll use myself as an example again, is that my goal is to leave behind a body of work that will inspire men to own their masculinity and be proud to be a man. So this is through the film work that I do. It's also, of course, through Miami Vice Life, through the writing that I do. This is my mission, and each day, bit by bit, I'm slowly building out this mission. And it's something that's always on my mind, whether I'm working on other projects or not. Each project that I do, I try to think about, how can I incorporate my mission into this project? So if you think about what legacy you want to leave behind, you can fulfill this in any form. You can have any career, it doesn't matter. In an extreme example, so if my mission to inspire men to be proud to be masculine, I could even do this at McDonald's. How could I do this? Well, I could do it with how I interact with customers, how I act with other employees. I can set an example of like, hey, look, this is what it means to be a masculine man. I could speak in a tone of voice, how I wear my uniform. How much pride do I take when I assemble a tray with a burger, fries, and a drink on it and make it look really good? Like, look, I hold myself to a certain standard. And this can be an example and how I would live that mission and leave a legacy behind, so the day that I quit McDonald's, people are gonna say, man, dude, that guy was on point. He was an example of what it means to be a man, what a good worker is. So, you can do this in any career that you have. It does not have to be in the arts or filmmaking like I do. It could be you could be a doctor, you could be a carpenter, a plumber, you could work at a factory. It really doesn't matter. You can still leave a legacy behind, whatever it is that you want your legacy to be. All right, so now I'm going to give you guys an assignment because I think that we should all have something that we can do to take action to make these changes in our life. So the assignment for this week is I want you to pick one day that you spend alone and think about this. This is what I want you to think about. When I'm dead and gone, what do I want to have left behind? So this is a deep question, and I want you guys to take time to do this. So you can take a walk, but do it without music or distraction. You can do this at night or early in the morning, but let all of your ideas come out. Let that really churn and burn. Let it come out. Don't hold anything back. And I want you then to write them down or record them in your voice recorder on your phone. And after you figure this out, after you figure out what it is that you want to leave behind, then think about how you can embody this legacy in whatever it is that you are doing. And this could be with your family, with your girlfriend or wife, with your job, with your hobbies. Doesn't matter. All of those categories count. So think about how you can live out that legacy in all of those things. And then lastly, I want you to start acting it out. So start living out your legacy in such a way that you will be able to leave it behind. Thanks for tuning into the show. For more Sophisticated Scoundrels, you can follow me at Instagram at The Sophisticated Scoundrel. And of course, where it all started, Miami Vice Life on Instagram. I do weekly posts and I'm always staying active in the stories. If you need any life advice, you can message me on Instagram. I also have one-on-one coaching sessions available if you would like to book a more in-depth, longer conversation between you and I to sort out any sort of issues or problems or challenges you're going through in your life. If you'd like to support the show in other ways, you can leave a 5-star review at wherever you listen to this podcast. Those reviews truly do help in bringing awareness to the show and helping it to rise in the ranks. The evening is young, the drinks are strong, and I wish all of you a good night. We'll see you next time.